Hello everyone, I am François Houte from Visite 300 Pro. Today I wanted to make a short video about the use of virtual tours. You have several ways to take advantage of the virtual tour. One of the most effective ways is to create a website. This means that when you arrive at the restaurant's website, the first thing we are going to do is go directly to the enriched virtual tour. We will be able to have information such as knowing where the restaurant is located, finding the legal notices, basically everything that can be found on the website, the opening hours, the facades, we will find them there. When we move around, we will have contextualized information here, for example, on the bar. I will then be able to move according to where I am going. I will have information such as if, for example, I want to have rates according to the day and so on. There I look at the buffet. I can have the information. I can load the photo. I can also go full screen in order to have maximum comfort and know where I am in the visit. I can even move directly here in the kitchen. So I turned off the sound because there is background noise on this virtual tour. I removed it so I could talk to you. We have pretty much the same thing here at another restaurant of the same kind. The idea is to make the most of your virtual visit and contextualize the information, to add videos, that kind of thing, in places where it can make sense. For example, when I go to the buffet, I will be able to get the information directly from the buffet on the different elements, being able to scroll through the photos, etc. So that is one way of exploiting. Here is another example of the same kind. Here, so there is a factory that creates layouts. Similarly, I will be able to move very quickly, for example, with the menus, but also possibly with the map. I can directly go to areas where I can also get information about the machines used, for example. These are examples where we exploit to the maximum. After, if you have a website, you can use your virtual tour on the website. Here, this is a similar example that is interesting because we will have an E-frame right above the waterline that will allow us to navigate directly through the tour. This is the first thing we are going to see. It should be known that on this site we first had the owner of the establishment. Had just one slide, I think, or even just a static image. And to go on the virtual tour you had to press this button and we had a dedicated page. I also think that the dedicated page is still there. However, very few people did it. And so, as soon as we changed the location of the visit and put it directly at the top of the home page, obviously the impact was immediate and much more significant. In terms of operation, it is very important to place your visit in a location where it will not be missed. Then we can continue as on a normal website. It's a WordPress. Another use here in WordPress is a co-working space. The visit will be the second item. I have allowed the shells here, so I will be able to use it here. I will obviously put it in full screen, which will give me a little more comfort for my navigation, and I can obviously use my menus to go directly to a zone, or obviously here, for example, to choose a point on the map. So this is one way to make the most of your visit to your website, either in the first or second position. We have also created websites, or at least a proposal to be able to create websites where the visit will also be highlighted. The same principle, the visit highlighted, and then we can have information. One could also put it, for example, on the side with information here. There are obviously several ways to present things. So that is a solution. I also wanted to show you this integration. Here we are dealing with a school, so it will not be the first or the second. But here we are at the fourth element. I will add it here. And so here as well, we will be able to navigate here and go full screen. You see that we are a bit limited by the margins. So we have the possibility, if possible, to use a bit more margins, but we can still go full screen here again. And we also have the possibility to move around via the plan. There it is. Another operation here is a nursery, so here we also have a WordPress, and therefore the visit, on the other hand, takes up the entire width, and so I will go back to the Adoramic 2 homepage, and therefore I will be able to have maximum comfort to navigate and use my virtual tour. Still, people need to scroll down to access it, so it's still best to highlight it more. To finish, I wanted to show you this integration that is interesting. We are dealing with a bank. It is a slightly more technical integration. When I click on this button, I will access the tour and I will be able to use it. I can go back to the site by clicking on it. We have an original pop-up that allows us to take advantage of the visit, but I don't have the statistics. Here you go. I hope this little video has interested you. Do not hesitate to visit the website visite360pro.com to get more information, especially on how to use your virtual tour on your website. Have a good day.